we're gonna celebrate.
Daft Punk. If that's just the mood you're in, there's a whole playlist you can nick off BBC Sounds. Dance Sounds of the 90s with Vernon. It's a new mixtape. If you were suddenly loving that going back to the 90s, why not have a whole playlist for your life today? Dermot's back next week. He's got David Walliams on the programme. What a fabulous Saturday morning lies ahead. I shall be where you are, listening to the beautiful, lovely Dermot. Here's what happened today as I was Paddy, sitting in for Dermot. The mystery voice lives another week. Here's the real one.
Enter the adult world.
No one guessed it, so it lives another week. We started a new feature where I played Sally, this voice.
I want the crooked eyebrows, I want the crooked teeth, the crooked hair, the crooked everything. And that's what he got.
And I told you in advance it was Lauren Bacall, but I didn't tell her. She then guessed it because she's a remarkable woman. And I'm just wondering, will Dermot nick that feature? Because he nicks every other feature. That vinyl thing, he nicked off Joe Wiley. He nicked it. So he's obviously going to nick this as well, isn't he? That's what's going to happen for weeks. It's going to claim its own. Listen, thank you very much for putting up with me. The amazing Claudia Winkleman is standing by to rev your engines. And thank you for pressing the buttons and looking after me, to Simon and Gary, here on Radio 2, on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker, and 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 10 o'clock. This is Claire Ronacres. The head of the Royal Navy says harassment within the ranks will not be tolerated after he ordered an investigation into allegations of sexual assault and bullying against women in the submarine service. Admiral Sir Ben Key was responding to reports made by several whistleblowers in the Daily Mail, which included claims that men compiled a list of women to assault in the event of a catastrophic emergency. Emma Norton, who's the founder of the Centre for Military Justice, is calling for an independent investigation.
So while it's very good to hear that response today, it doesn't go far enough, because ultimately it will still be the Royal Navy investigating the Royal Navy. And so what a lot of campaigners and servicewomen have been calling for many, many years is for those for responsibility for investigating the most serious kinds of complaints like this to be taken away from the single services themselves and handed to an independent body.
The household energy supplier Octopus Energy has finalised a deal to buy its collapsed rival Bulb, which has been relying on billions of pounds of government support to stay afloat. Octopus says it will take on the firm's 1.5 million customers, bringing an end to taxpayer losses and uncertainty. President Biden has condemned a violent attack on the husband of the leading Democrat, Nancy Pelosi, as despicable. Paul Pelosi was allegedly beaten with a hammer at his home. A man was arrested on charges including attempted murder. Shara Steen, the Washington correspondent for the San Francisco Chronicle, says Mrs. Pelosi herself has been targeted before.
She has been under threat multiple times throughout her career. Just last year, her garage was graffitied, which is obviously a very different situation. And the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, she was inside, and there were protesters who were looking for her during that attack. So this is definitely not her first experience with this sort of situation.
Development experts say the government is spending more of its foreign aid budget in the United Kingdom than on direct help overseas. It's estimated that this year more than £4 billion will be spent in Britain, largely to support refugees. The government insists the UK remains one of the largest global aid donors. Supporting refugees through foreign aid is permitted under international rules, but the chair of the International Development Committee, Sarah Champion, says it's not normal practice.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if we actually haven't budgeted how much we're spending. And other countries around Europe who are also hosting refugees, they're doing the right thing. They're not taking it from their foreign aid budget.
The biggest car maker in the United States has stopped advertising on Twitter for the time being. General Motors says it wants to understand the direction of the social media platform under its new owner, Elon Musk. He's setting up a panel to review posts. Let's take a quick look at the weather now, and there'll be rain across much of Scotland, Northern Ireland and parts of Wales and the north of England later. Turning sunny and warm this afternoon in the southeast of England. BBC News, it's 3 minutes past 10.
On the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC Radio 2.
Thank you, Claire, and thank you, Paddy.